Ridiculous Crime is a production of iHeartRadio.
And 1 and a 2 and hey, Elizabeth!
5, 6, 7, 8. What's up?
Just working on some chair dancer routines.
Oh, I was doing my deep stretches over here.
Yeah, that's good.
With the leg warmers.
Yeah, I like those. Are those pink or would you say more fuchsia? What is that?
They're black.
Oh, I don't have my glasses on.
Oh, I thought.
So I got a question for you besides about your lovely leg warmers.
Usurp.
Do you know what's ridiculous?
I certainly do. Do you like baked potatoes?
Oh my God.
No, stop it.
Why do you do this?
Maybe I have a fun fact about the history of baked potatoes.
Okay, let's pretend. Elizabeth, I know a lot about baked potatoes.
No, do you like them?
Do I like them?
Yeah, you like a good baked potato?
Yeah, I mean, like if it's like dressed well. I mean, actually, I grew up eating.
Oh, it's funny you should say it that way.
I grew up eating a lot of them because my mother gave us a vegetarian diet. So we had baked, and she's Irish, a Catholic, so we had baked potatoes like twice a week.
Sure. So
I know a lot of ways to dress a baked potato.
Do you now?
But I can also eat it with just butter.
Dress a baked potato,
You're back to that, huh?
No, but you know, in the UK, they call them a jacket potato.
I did not know that.
And a lot of times they put like corn on it. You ever seen that?
Like
you
corn?
Ever done that?
Like cut off the cob?
Like corn from a corn cob?
Do they like boil the corn or do something
not raw.
horrendous to it?
It's not raw.
No, but I mean, like, do they turn it into like a mash or something?
No, it's just corn on there. They put corn on pizza over
so like
there,
corn
too.
kernels, like I'm picturing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not like a corn pone. Or a polenta.
Anyway,
I'm getting off track here. So jacket potatoes in the UK are baked potatoes over here.
Mm-hmm.
And I've talked before about Aldi. They have a special this time of year on jacket potatoes.
Do they?
Yeah, because they say it's jacket potato season now.
Oh, kind of like cuffing season.
Well, no, it's more sweater weather.
Okay.
It accompanies sweater weather. And so they have come up with, they have all those cool products in the center aisle.
Yes, you told me about those.
They have like
I did not know.
Aldi does.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they have a new thing, but you can't buy it in the store.
Oh, it's only online. It's in the center aisle online.
Sweepstakes. You have to enter on social media to get it.
No purchase necessary.
It's a limited edition jacket potato jacket.
Oh my God.
So it's a puffer coat that has the outside print, like the outside of a potato, which kind of makes it look like this guy's got a skin disorder.
It looks like something Tyler, the creator, would wear 5 years ago.
100%.
10 years ago, maybe.
100. But it's all fleece inside, so it looks like fluffy inside of a potato.
Sure.
And then you can also, it comes with a silver rain poncho over the outside.
Oh, like how they sell them
wrapped in foil when you bake them. Some people bake them in foil.
And they sell them on the street like that.
Yeah.
I don't know, like in London, but I've seen that sold that way.
Like baked potatoes on the street?
Yeah.
Huh.
You know, like they sell like hot dogs on the street.
Or tacos where I'm from.
Yeah, people also sell baked potatoes.
Really?
Yeah, in the wintertime.
Freaks. So anyway, you can get this.
You're the one with the jacket.
You got to go online and try and get you a jacket potato jacket if you're in Aldi UK. Here's my favorite part of it, and then I'll stop. Julie Ashfield is the chief commercial officer at Aldi UK.
Okay.
And she said, we know our customers love jacket potatoes, so launching this jacket made sense, especially now the temperatures are dropping. Okay, that makes sense. Here's the line that I feel like she wrote for us. Enjoying a jacket potato in Aldi's new jacket potato jacket is sure to be a mash made in heaven. But that is ridiculous.
Every time. Well, if you got a second, just sit back down, keep those leg warmers present.
Okay.
Because, I got something for you.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
You know, like lots of Hollywood stars and celebrities get fan mail.
Uh-huh.
But the mid-century actress and the World War II era sex symbol, Betty Grable.
Right.
She was the rare star who got lots and lots of extortion letters as fan mail.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. In the immortal words of Kenan Thompson, what's up with that?
What's up with that?
This is Ridiculous Crime, a podcast about absurd and outrageous capers, heists, and cons. It's always 99% murder-free and 100% what? 100% what? 100% ridiculous.
Ridiculous.
Elizabeth.
Zaron.
A few weeks back, you told me a story that blew my mind about the child actor Jackie Coogan.
Yes.
Right, you remember that one?
I
Fun
remember
one,
it.
Right?
I remember it well.
Well, today I want to tell you a story about his better half. one of his wives, the
Right.
super famous actress, Betty Grable.
Yeah.
What do you know about Betty Grable?
I know she was married to Jackie Coogan. And I know she was like a World War II pinup. She's got the famous one where she's kind of looking over her shoulder.
Yeah.
And you're looking at her rump in a swimsuit.
Like if you look over my shoulder, I've brought a Betty Grable here
I
into the
see
studio.
that. I can see that.
Because I always tell you, I have a poster of Betty Grable,
Yeah,
so
I know,
I
but
took
that's
it down.
like a life-size cardboard cutout.
Yes.
Did you have that in your car on the way here?
Laminated, totally.
Why'd you?
For
Never
weather.
Mind. Never mind.
Yeah, so, okay, so now let's dive a little deeper and get to know Betty Grable.
Yes.
She was born in 1916, and her parents named her Elizabeth Ruth Grable. So it's really her name,
Yeah.
Betty Grable.
Yeah.
She was raised in St. Louis, Missouri, youngest of 3 kids. Her father was a stockbroker. Her mother was basically like a stage mom. She used to enter her daughter into like beauty contests all the time as a little girl, and then like as a younger girl, and she would win. Like she won a bunch of
Well,
them.
she's a looker.
Right? Yeah. And so after that taste of early success, and just after the stock market crashed in 1929, her mother took her out to Hollywood to chase stardom.
Yeah.
No mention of her father going, the stockbroker. But anyway,
Yeah, I hope he was okay.
Betty Grable was 12 years old at the time, and her mother lied and said she was 15 so she could work in the industry.
Oh, that's disturbing.
Right? Yeah. So she gets her first movie part that same year, 1929. And at the time, she was using a stage name, Frances Dean. I'm like, you got a name like Betty
Dude,
Grable?
Betty Grable's like the best name.
Right? Anyway, next year, 1930, at age 13, she signs a contract with Samuel Goldwyn and becomes one of the OG Goldwyn girls.
At 13.
Right? Yeah, which, if you're unfamiliar, that's just a Hollywood knockoff of the Ziegfeld Follies, which are the chorus girls that were all the rage on Broadway at the time. And again, 13 years old.
13.
Yeah. So 2 years later, 1932, she signs with RKO Pictures. That's where she gets to her start actually doing acting parts, not just like kicking her legs. She takes classes. Because that was the thing back in like classic golden age Hollywood. So she's doing acting classes, dance classes, voice lessons. And she then goes to her birth name as her stage name, Betty Grable.
Yeah.
Now, after she spends the 30s basically playing like typically college-age girls in a series of college-set films, and she starts to make a name for herself as Betty Grable. And then in 1937, she gets married to who? Former child star Jackie Coogan. But as you explained in your episode, at the time, he was all emotionally bogged down with the lawsuit against his parents over his childhood earnings.
Right.
So eventually, that puts strain on their marriage, and it gets cramped by all this emotional, baggage. And they get divorced 2 years later, 1939.
Yeah.
But before they got divorced, they started a movie together called $1 Million Legs.
$1 Million Legs.
Yes. That was the movie where she earned her nickname, and they called attention to her world famous legs.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Them pins.
After her divorce from Jackie Coogan in 39, the next year she's feeling a little blue. She's considering leaving showbiz behind, right? She's like in her feels because she's been in the industry for a decade.
Because she's 23.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
now,
boy.
at this point, she goes on this national tour where she would do personal appearances. And this saves her career because it rekindles her love of being a star when she's out amongst the people. Those of us of the little people, right? But the big deal of this tour is that she meets Darryl F. Zanuck, the head of 20th Century Fox, and he's all charmed by Betty Grable. He can see potential in this like untapped possible megastar.
Yeah.
So she dyes her hair blonde. She becomes Zanuck. Zanuck was kind of a sucker for a blonde star, right? So
Right.
she becomes his new favorite it girl of the moment, and he believed that he could make this happen for America too. And this is when her career really starts to take off. She becomes this glamorous movie star, a blonde bombshell. She was also essentially known for her self-deprecating wit, which really went a long way in differentiating her from some of the other stars of the time.
Right.
Like as far as why she became a big star, Betty Grable once said, "As a dancer, I couldn't outdance Ginger Rogers or Eleanor Powell. As a singer, I'm no rival to Doris Day. As an actress, I don't take myself seriously. I'm the girl truck drivers love."
God bless.
And she also, she's such a woman of the people, and specifically soldiers. She also acknowledged,
Yeah.
she said, quote, "I'm strictly an enlisted man's girl."
Oh.
Right? Yeah. So that's obviously in reference to Betty Grable being a major screen icon of the World War II era because, it's going to kick off in 41 for us.
Right.
Now, There's that famous image that you mentioned of her in the white bathing suit. She's like glancing over her shoulder, which is just over my shoulder. And that image, it gets painted on the sides of bomber planes. And she becomes the it girl of the day. Daryl Zanuck's call works out perfectly. He's totally right. And she becomes actually a good luck charm for soldiers overseas, this sexy reminder of why and who they're fighting for back home.
Right.
She's what they would call a morale booster, right?
Yeah.
But who was Betty Grable beyond the iconic pinup imagery? So glad you asked, Elizabeth.
Thank you. I'm glad to.
Now, like I've been saying, she was a fun star. She's a self-deprecating woman. She manages to scale the heights of Hollywood. And also, this is, in stark contrast to who she really is, because she was painfully shy. And yet she becomes, this major star. This was because of a few factors, all right? As Debbie Reynolds, a fellow actress,
right,
and a contemporary, once said, Betty Grable was the most easygoing woman in Hollywood. So everybody liked working with her. Everyone liked chilling on the set with her.
Yeah.
And she often said, that she just loved show business. She's got this great quote about show business. It's loud, it's cheap, it's gaudy. It's like everything I've ever done. I love it.
I love stars who lean into it, how good they have it and how fun it can be.
Exactly. Life on a set is incredible. It really does feel awesome. It feels like you're getting away with something.
Yeah. And you look at actors and professional athletes who moan about it.
Mm-hmm.
When you think that there are people who that's their life's dream and you're sitting there complaining about this, come on.
You've lost perspective. You have lost the plot.
Exactly.
Now, Betty Grable was also a huge star because Betty Grable knew who Betty Grable was. She was super realistic about what the public wanted from her. She was extremely self-aware as a star. In show business terms, she was essentially a song and dance woman, right?
Yeah.
Those are the movies she made. And she once said, there are two reasons why I am successful in show business, and I am standing on both of them. Or more succinctly, she once said, there's nothing mysterious about me. My legs made me.
Well,
I saw this Life magazine pictorial they did. It had 18 pictures of her, and I think her face is only in 4 of them. It's just always her legs. Yeah.
Wow.
And they used to use her legs as measurements. If you went in to go buy hosiery, they're like, okay, Betty Grable's legs are this. What are yours?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah. Her megastardom was very much due to this, obviously, self-awareness and then her sexy legs.
Yeah.
You could say she was also unafraid to flaunt what she had, namely her $1 million legs.
Yeah.
In fact, as this publicity stunt, Daryl Zanuck in 20th Century Fox's studio, they paid this insurance company, Lloyd's of London, to insure her legs for $1 million.
Every time they do those, I've insured my hands.
Yeah.
My leg is fat. It's so bizarre.
Well, if you get hurt,
I guess, yeah.
Now, by the 1940s, when World War II was in full swing, Betty Grable was the biggest female star in America. Specifically, in 1943, she was the #1 box office draw in the world. That's including male actors.
Really?
Yes. She stayed the #1 box office draw for a full decade.
Dang.
This is when she's making these lush Technicolor musicals,
Yeah, get
right?
it, Betty.
Now, Betty Grable was more popular, I want to make this clear, than the big male stars of the day. She's more popular than Clark Gable, more popular than Gary Cooper, Humphrey Bogart, Bob Hope. And due to that, in 43, she signs this $1 million contract with 20th Century Fox. Everything with her is $1 million.
Yeah, of course.
She becomes the first woman to join what was known as the $1 million club because male actors were getting paid that. They'd cross that line.
Right.
Now, since I know you often wondered about this, $1 million in 1943 would be $18.7 million in today's dollars.
Wow.
Right?
Okay.
So, she's in basically the $20 million club.
Yeah.
Now, for the next 10 years, as I said, she remains the highest paid female star in America. In fact, the U.S. Treasury confirmed with data that in 1946 and 1947, she was the highest paid woman in America, regardless of industry. Yeah.
Think, too, about, we talk about salaries now in Hollywood, but that's also because you have this global market.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And they didn't have that then. I mean, films could make it overseas, but not to the degree of that's where the earning is happening.
Exactly. And that's what now the majority of the earnings.
Yeah.
So to recap, Betty Grable, she's this pinup girl. She's the sex symbol of her era. She's a major blonde bombshell. Basically, one way of thinking about it is this. Before there was Marilyn Monroe, there was Betty Grable.
Yeah.
Right? You can think of her as, actually, you can kind of think of this series of famous blonde sex symbols. It goes like this. First, there's Jean Harlow. Uh-huh. She's the first blonde bombshell. She's the big sex symbol of the 1930s. And then comes Betty Grable, the pinup girl blonde bombshell of World War II of the 1940s. And then along comes Marilyn Monroe, who fuses the appeal of both Jean Harlow and Betty Grable, and then becomes, it's basically the sex appeal of Jean Harlow and the mystery of her, and then the every GI's girl all-American appeal of Betty Grable, right?
Yeah.
That's how Marilyn becomes the huge star of the 1950s.
Yeah.
So essentially, Betty Grable actually even passes the torch to Marilyn when they star together in the movie How to Marry a Millionaire.
Oh, right.
Right? Yeah, exactly. In fact, Marilyn Monroe would tell anyone who listened when she was growing up, she idolized Betty Grable. Like that's who she wanted to be.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because she knew she had it. And also, she was unapologetic about it, right?
That's what I think is interesting when you're describing her, and we know what we know about Marilyn being very self-aware and in control. And, they get portrayed as like ditzes and kind of manipulated. Jane Mansfield is another
Same
one
thing.
like that, where these are really smart women who are savvy and talented, and they play characters, and people think they are those characters.
Exactly. And they know that, American audiences at the time in particular liked these like dumb, daffy, goofy women, so they would play into that. But you have to be smart to play that part.
Exactly.
So now in the 1940s, if you're Betty Grable and you're a sex symbol, if you're this blonde bombshell, you're the most famous woman in the world, there's something you also are. You're a symbol. You're a focus of obsessions, and you become a target for, you guessed it, crime.
Oh, boy.
In this case,
Betty.
ridiculous crime. Now, I mention old radio shows far too often, but in this case, I need to because it's relevant to the story. Because before TV becomes the thing in 1948, radio is what folks did at night for entertainment, as you know, right? They'd gather around, they'd listen to sitcoms or news programs, they'd listen to soap operas in the daytime, action adventure shows at night for the kids, major Broadway plays if you're cultured, Hollywood movies would get acted on the airwaves, right? Well, one of the big shows of the day was The Green Hornet, which I've mentioned before. It's the radio show that Seth Rogen turned into a movie in 2011.
Right.
But in 1940, that show became the inspiration for a Betty Grable-based crime.
Wait, The Green Hornet.
The Green Hornet. On December 6, 1940, someone sat down and they penned a letter to Betty Grable. But this wasn't fan mail. Instead, this person wanted to send an extortion letter to Betty Grable.
Oh, no.
But rather than call himself by his government name, since it was an extortion letter, he called himself the Yellow Hornet.
The Yellow Hornet?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
The letter he sent read, "You have been selected by me, the Yellow Hornet, to pay me the sum of $2,000 in cash, of course." Of course. I love the
so
of course.
Good, milady.
What a start to a letter. It's like part scam letter, part deranged fantasy. And also that much money, $2,000 in 1940 would be $46,000
there, see how
today.
easy that was to
I've been
tell
doing
me?
it for you, right?
46 grand.
So back to the Yellow Hornet's letter. This amount will be addressed to Miss Betty Westlake, 610 Allison Avenue, Washington, Pennsylvania. The amount will be sent by special delivery, any way you prefer, by December 25th, Christmas Day, or you will thus suffer the results.
Is that the Yellow Hornet's mom's house?
No. Interestingly, he doesn't make it clear what these bad results will be.
Yeah.
But I guess like Alfred Hitchcock, he wants to leave it to the imagination.
Sure.
But the Yellow Hornet then ends his letter. "This is not a joke, as you may think, but strictly business. If you, however, don't send this money to the address above, I will personally come out and get you. Sincerely, the Hornet."
This is strictly business.
Yeah.
No pleasure involved in this one.
It's like EPMD, strictly business.
I'm gonna
Eric and
come
Parrish making ducats.
I'm going to come and get you.
Yeah, right?
Boogie, boogie.
He decides to go with the threat. If I don't get my money by Christmas Day, I'll personally come out and get you. And I assume he means come out to Hollywood, all right? Not like to his mother. And I guess he'll buy one of those maps of the stars homes and just go knock, knock, knock on her door. Now, another interesting thing about the Yellow Hornet's letter is that the address he sent, you asked about this, is the home in East Washington, Pennsylvania, was the home of the superintendent of schools for East Washington. And we assume, presumably, he was the father of Betty Westlake, except for, as the FBI found out, there was no Betty Westlake.
Oh.
Instead, the daughter was named Mary Westlake. So yeah, anyway, the FBI investigates. The sender of the letter is this 18-year-old kid named James Porter, not Betty Westlake. He didn't even know Betty or Mary Westlake. And the FBI discover all of this when they arrest him on January 3rd, 1941. Yeah, they catch up to the Yellow Hornet before he gets his act together and pops across the country to go visit Betty Grable. Yeah. Because obviously she did not send the money on December 25th.
Obviously
After he's arrested by the FBI and the Pennsylvania State Police, James Porter confesses that he did, in fact, send the letter. But not only that, he'd also sent letters to 16 of his neighbors in the town of Washington, Pennsylvania.
16 neighbors plus Betty Grable.
Exactly.
Why not?
He said they were all part of his Yellow Hornet Club.
Oh.
Yeah, which they had
Did
not
they
opted.
know this?
No, they had not opted to join this. It was just like he would send, quote, assignments under penalty of what, like, I'm going to come out to your house or whatever.
Oh, boy.
Now, if you're wondering what Betty Grable's response to the letter was, she never actually received it.
Oh.
The letter instead was sent to 20th Century Fox as fan mail. So she never saw it. They did. The folks at Fox, they opened the fan mail, then they sent it to the FBI. Like, we got a live one.
Right.
They contact the Pennsylvania State Police and some local FBI agents. You know, they all go out and arrest this confused kid, James Porter.
Yeah.
Now, when the press told Betty Grable about the Yellow Hornet business, she said, "It's flattering that someone thinks I can reach out and produce $2,000 at a moment's notice, but I've never heard of Miss Westlake, and so I don't think I should make any further comments."
Oh.
And also, further ironically, James Porter was released on $2,000 bail. Okay, so that's kind of a weird case. Some random kid tries to extort a Hollywood star the same way he's been trying to extort his neighbors.
It's so weird.
And he gets arrested by the FBI.
Oh, poor kid.
But
There's
get this,
something not right.
Elizabeth, this was only the start of folks trying to extort Betty Grable. And the
Really?
stories only get weirder as we go.
No.
But first, let's take a break.
Yeah.
Chill out, listen to some ads, and after these messages, I will tell you even wilder ones from the life of Betty Grable.
Nice.
We're back.
Yes, we are.
And I've got more Betty Grable for you.
Nice.
Are you ready for some folks looking to extort the most famous, most desired,
please.
most highly paid American woman of the 1940s?
Please.
So after the December 1940, January 41 story about the Pennsylvania farm boy,
Right.
James Porter, which becomes obviously national news, it leads to what we now call copycat crime.
Oh, yeah.
And it didn't even take long. Like
Oh, no.
1 month later.
The Blue Hornet.
Yeah, like, do you know how you heard about this? Because he got busted. Nope, doesn't stop him. In February 41, another young man from Pennsylvania was like, I want to extort Betty Grable too.
Well, I think everyone feels like they can do it better.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Because this second guy, he wasn't a high school age kid like James Porter. Instead, he was a 24-year-old nightclub waiter working in Philadelphia.
Oh, wow.
But he was also named James.
Oh.
James D. Thompson. Now, on February 4th, 1941, the FBI arrested James Thompson after he sent Betty Grable an extortion letter. But unlike the kid who demanded $2,000, he went bigger, Elizabeth. I mean, he wasn't some punk kid. He's a working nightclub waiter. He has
knows,
expenses.
He knows the value of money.
He's got a tailor. He's got people to pay. He may even have a bookie. Who knows? But he demanded $8,500 from Betty Grable.
What's that?
That would be $187,000.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah, that's a good chunk.
And he said, unless the amount was paid, she would suffer bodily harm.
Oh, vague.
Yeah, exactly.
I like it.
Just leave it to the imagination.
Did he have a fun name at the end of the letter?
No. He just sent it as like I don't remember.
The Bumblebee.
Yeah, I don't think I found what his name was on the letter. They just mentioned different sections of the letter in the news.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he sends his letter on January 24th. And I guess he wasn't dissuaded by the fact the kid from Pittsburgh got caught. So he's like, no, I'm from Philadelphia. We're smarter than those kids in Western Pennsylvania. So Thompson, the nightclub waiter, is like, things will go differently for me. His plan was slightly smarter. I got to give him that. Rather than have the money sent to a girl he didn't know, he demanded that Betty Grable send the money to him via general delivery. And then she was to place a personal ad in a local Philadelphia paper so he would know that she'd sent it and when to expect the money's arrival.
Wait, and to his name, general delivery?
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Oh, honey.
So instead of sending any money to her second Pennsylvania extortionist, Betty Grable hands the letter over to the FBI. It takes them a week and a half this time, and the G-men spring into action, and they arrest the nightclub waiter. The good news for Betty Grable was that no one sent her an extortion letter for the rest of that year.
Oh, that's good.
Right. Nor did she receive one in 1942. The war was on, the young men of America were busy wondering if they'd be drafted.
Yeah, they're a little busy.
They had other concerns. Maybe not as much time for nonsense. But maybe not, because in 1943, it all starts right back up. Now, if you remember from up top when I was telling you about Betty Grable, 1943 was her $1 million year.
Yeah.
Right? That's the year she signed her $1 million contract with 20th Century Fox, and she had her legs, insured with Lloyd's of London for $1 million.
Yeah.
Big $1 million year for her, right? And all that talk of $1 million may have been what triggered the next extortion letter, or maybe it's just something else. I don't know, because the extortion letter, it arrives in February of 43. Coincidentally, the letter was postmarked February 6th, which was one day after her previous extortionist had been busted by the G-men back in 41.
Oh, really?
It's like almost the anniversary, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So the story goes, in early February, Betty Grable receives her latest extortion letter, and it begins rather formally.
Oh.
Dear Miss Grable, this is an extortion. Under threat of your life or great bodily harm, gather $25,000 in uncut diamonds and mail them in 2 envelopes addressed to Jonathan C. Wild, Esquire, Gates Hotel, 5th and Figueroa, Los Angeles, California. Signed, The Leopard.
Wait, now we're at The Leopard. We got to break this letter down for a second.
Yeah, right?
25 grand in uncut diamonds in 2 envelopes?
In 2 envelopes.
Split it up. He's like, I think it's going to go over postage if you put them all in 1 envelope. So let's split it up.
He doesn't trust the mail. He's like, I want to get at least one of these through.
The Leopard Esquire.
Yes. He's a lawyer, I guess.
He's like Bill and Ted. Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah. By the way, 25 grand, in case you were wondering,
Yeah.
that's $468,000
Oh,
in
so we're
2025
moving
money.
up.
Oh, yeah. $500,000.
We're moving up.
Right? Because he's like, yeah, you're worth $1 million. Your legs are worth $1 million. I'll take a $500,000.
Right,
I'll take a one Betty Grable leg worth of money. Also, what is up with these guys? The Yellow Hornet, the Leopard.
The Leopard.
These are like B-grade comic book villains.
I know. It's amazing.
And also the Jonathan C. Wild Esquire, is he even a real lawyer?
No,
is that
it just means he's
not.
fancy.
Exactly.
He's not to be messed with.
So, and is he the Leopard? Is he Jonathan C. Wild? Anyway, these are all great questions,
I think
Elizabeth.
that he's like, send it to my lawyer.
Oh, I like that.
You know?
Smart. Yeah, he's probably watching a lot of like noir films.
Exactly.
Yeah. So the FBI, when they hear about this, they're like, we got this. We're getting pretty good at busting these bozos. What is this, number 3? So the G-men decide to play along this time. They send what was described as a dummy package to the address given by the Leopard.
No way.
And they had undercover agents watch the hotel at 5th and Figueroa to see who would come pick up the package. But no one came.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But 1 month later, in March 9th to be exact, a second letter is sent to Betty Grable. It was just as formal as the first. It was also using increasingly violent language. The letter read, Dear Miss Grable, on March 19th at 9:40 a.m., come north on Gower Street and a half block south of Santa Monica Boulevard. I will be waiting, leaning on the cemetery wall. Bring $5,000 or you will not be alive on the 20th. Signed, Snowy Baker.
First of all, I'm kind of excited because I know where all these places are.
I thought you would.
And then Snowy same
Baker.
dude,
Yes.
Snowy Baker.
This is apparently the nom de
He's
plume
the snow
of
leopard.
the leopard.
He's the snow leopard.
And the FBI, they had handwriting analysis check the letter, and they confirmed it was definitely the same guy. Snowy Baker is the leopard.
Snowy Baker leaning on the cemetery gates.
Yes, that's where I'll be.
Keats and Yates on his side.
I like that. So $5,000 in 1943, in case you were wondering, Elizabeth, is about $93,600 these days.
Okay.
So still a pretty good payday.
Yeah.
But no one cut diamonds this time. He's dropped from $25,000 to $5,000, a fifth of the value. But he's like, I don't know. The Snowy Baker isn't as greedy as the leopard. I don't know what to tell you. But it's still a ton of money in 43.
Yeah.
So what I also love about this second extortion letter is how the letter is so damn specific.
Yeah.
It's like not 9:30. No, 9:40 a.m. Like he's running a bus schedule.
Oh yeah, totally. Well, you wonder if it does coincide with a bus that he's planning to jump on a bus right after, maybe.
Oh, good call.
And he never picked up the original dummy package.
No, never came to the hotel at 5th and Fig.
Curious.
Now, at this one, at the intersection of Gower and Santa Monica, the exchange is a half block south of Santa Monica, right?
Yeah.
Now, I don't know how well you know the Hollywood area, but that street, I know you said you can know these, but Gower was a really interesting choice at that time to pick because that's where a bunch of movie studios were located at Sunset Boulevard in Gower, right? Which is just a few blocks away. It's about like 4 city blocks. So it's a great exchange place for the leopard if if you want to run into a bunch of like guys dressed like cowboys, because the area was called Gower Gulch.
Yeah.
Because there's basically like at Sunset and Gower, there back in the silent film era, Sunset and Gower was the home of movie cowboys, right? And this continued into the sound era. So you had Columbia Studios there, you had the B movie maker Republic Studios, which made a ton of westerns. So extras and people who just wanted to be a star would hang out in this area, and they would be like walking around like dressed as like, you know, a horse rustler, and that way they, like, some casting director might see them and they could get hired for the day to be a member of a posse.
Amazing.
Right? Yeah. So Gower Gulch becomes this home of movie cowboys.
I have my own costume, guys.
Exactly. And also, if you didn't find work that day, you could go over to the Columbia drugstore and you could just mosey on in, grab a seat, and enjoy a cup of coffee or sandwich or whatever. And this is where John Wayne used to hang out when he was a young actor. Also, both Roy Rogers and Gene Autry. Like, if you're looking for stars, this is the spot.
Place, yeah.
Anyway, so this is just a couple blocks away from the Leopard. It wants to meet Betty Grable to go at 9:40 a.m.
And there's a cemetery down there.
Where he'll be waiting on the cemetery wall. Now, this time, the G-men, they decide not to send a dummy package. Instead, they want to send Betty Grable to deliver the $5,000 in cash, as instructed. But you can't risk Betty Grable and her $1 million legs.
Right.
You can't send the real Betty Grable.
Of course not.
So instead, they plan to send a undercover FBI agent. Now, you may be picturing some like clean-shaven FBI guy, a drag, and a blonde wig, right?
That'd be amazing.
But it turns out the FBI had female agents at the time.
Okay.
So they scared up an agent who had a passing resemblance to Betty Grable, and they sent her to make the exchange.
Oh, wow.
But rather than me tell you about it, Elizabeth, I'd like you to close your eyes.
My eyes are closed.
And I'd like you to picture it. It's March 19th, 1943, the appointed day for the exchange, the day to hand over the extortion money to the Leopard, a.k.a. Snowy Baker. The G-men of the FBI have planned extensively for this sting operation. Charts of the street have been created, with precise locations selected for the full surveillance of the scene of this exchange. Some of the agents are excited to bring to bear the latest high technology of the day, cutting-edge in surveillance tech. A camera. But not just any camera, a handheld movie camera, specifically a 16mm camera outfitted with a telephoto lens. Ooh la la. J. Edgar Hoover's like, my boys can make movies too. Anyway, they have a plan for total coverage of the payoff. The new lightweight 16mm movie cameras are a perfect tool for a sting operation. Perched in like these advantageous vantage points, G-men have their 16mm cameras trained on the street. There are also spotters using high-powered binoculars. They have radios to signal the other agents who are down at street level. In the cemetery, there are FBI field agents dressed as gardeners, digging in the fresh-turned earth. There are also other undercover FBI agents dressed as grave diggers. They work the soil with shovels, but they're ready to spring into action as soon as the perp reveals himself. On both sides of the street, on the sidewalk, there are also other undercover G-men acting as lookouts, and they have portable walkie-talkies that they have hidden behind newspapers and other useful items. Prowling the corner of the street are even more undercover FBI agents driving around in radio-equipped unmarked cars. And behind the wheel of a shiny blue sedan is you. Elizabeth, you are the lone female FBI agent working the sting operation. At the moment your hands grip the steering wheel of the shiny blue sedan, you push a few stray, wind-blown blonde hairs out of your eyes because, that's right, you're dressed as Betty Grable. You have the windows down because that's part of the act, and the wind coming in through the open windows is blowing around the hairs of your blonde wig. Everything has been coordinated. You know just what you are to do in this sting. Just as instructed by the extortion letter sent by the Leopard, aka Snowy Baker, you turn onto Gower at the appointed time, 9:40 a.m. The shiny blue sedan smoothly corners, and you keep the car at a slow roll. As you head down Gower, you also keep your eyes peeled, searching for the perp. He should be here on the cemetery gates. As you approach the drop spot halfway down the block of Gower, you grip the brown paper-wrapped package on the bench front seat next to you. You brush a few more stray blonde wig hairs out of your eyes, but you still don't see any obvious perp. So you go ahead and do as instructed. You lift the brown bundle and you toss it out of the open window of the shiny blue sedan. The package is weighted appropriately and is well wrapped. It slaps at the street when it lands. Meanwhile, you continue to drive slowly down to the end of the block. At that same moment, G-men hidden in second-story windows with 16mm cameras and their telephoto lenses, as well as the FBI agents on the roof perched up there with their high-powered binoculars, they spot movement. Could this be the Leopard, aka Snowy Baker, the extortionist? A gangly young man hops off the cemetery wall, he walks between two parked cars, and he heads right for the brown paper-wrapped package. The surveillance team were all over it. They radio the spotters down on street level and signal the G-men in the cemetery dressed as gardeners and gravediggers. But they don't need to be signaled. They see the same gangly young man. They drop their cover, shovels hit the grass. The undercover FBI agents run out of the cemetery. The ones with walkie-talkies on the sidewalk break character, and they also run towards the gangly young man in the middle of the street. They shout, "FBI, freeze!" In your rear-view mirror, you see the gangly young man reach down and scoop up the brown paper wrap package from the street. He tucks it under an arm and makes a run for it. In the rear-view mirror, you watch him run right towards where you are further down the block. So you press down on the gas pedal and accelerate. The shiny blue sedan gives a throaty growl of the engine in response. You glance again in the rearview mirror just in time to see the gangly young man get tackled by the undercover FBI agents. A gravedigger wraps him up like a linebacker for USC. The young man goes down hard, his face slaps the street. You look down from the rearview mirror in time to turn the wheel of the shiny blue sedan as the car takes the corner. At the same time, you yank the blonde wig from your head. No more need to be Betty Grable. Nice work, Agent Dutton.
That was exciting.
Now, at this point, the man known as Snowy Baker, a.k.a. the Leopard, was revealed to be an 18-year-old high school student from Omaha, Nebraska.
Oh, no, from Nebraska?
Yes. His name, Russell E. Alexanderson. Yes. It was a very strange name. I was like, am I seeing that right?
Yeah.
His father was in the Army. His mother had gotten a job in the L.A. area working in an aircraft plant in Inglewood. All right, so she's like, building planes for the war effort. So since this was the third extortion attempt of Betty Grable, and since this was now a major Hollywood star, a.k.a. the blonde bombshell with the $1 million legs, none other than J. Edgar Hoover announces the latest bust.
Of course.
J. Edgar Hoover swans in to tell the national press that the 18-year-old perp, who was a big boy at 6'4", had been waiting. He grabbed the package and tried to make a run for it. But Hoover's G-men gave chase and captured the pimply-faced high school boy, a.k.a. the Leopard, a block away from the exchange.
Bad choice.
Right? Now, Russell E. Alexanderson, who went by his middle name Eugene, so Eugene Alexanderson, was interviewed and interrogated by FBI District Commissioner David B. Head. And he confessed to Commissioner Head that, quote, "The threat of harm in the letters was never intended to be carried out at any time." So what was his deal then? Why did he do it? Great question, Elizabeth.
Thank you.
Let's take a break, listen to some ads, and after these messages, I will tell you why he did it and what happens when the Leopard strikes yet again.
Oh, no.
Okay, Elizabeth.
Okay, Zaron.
We are back.
We're back.
Now, we've got some questions about the Leopard, Eugene Alexanderson from Omaha, Nebraska.
I have a lot of questions.
What's his deal?
Yeah, right? What's his major damage?
Why did Eugene keep sending extortion letters to Betty Grable?
Come on, Gene.
Well, it turns out the Leopard did actually want the money.
Well, I would imagine, yeah.
But for what? What would this 18-year-old kid want during the war years? When they're rationing butter. I mean, like,
because getting pants with that long of a leg.
Good point. He'd outgrown his clothes.
They don't sell them like where they're, rationing fabrics.
He's got them like mid-calf.
He wants a pair of silk slacks. They don't do that. It's for parachutes only.
Maybe he moved out west and he was like, I want one of them zoot suits.
Yeah, it could be.
So as Eugene Alexanderson explained to the FBI, quote, "I wanted the money only to enable me to see movie stars. I had no opportunity to see them because I had to account to my mother for every dime I spent."
Wait, how many movies did this boy want to watch?
No, the movie stars. He wanted to go see go to the Brown Derby or something.
Free.
Yeah,
I mean, you got to pay for food, but that's probably,
But he also busts money or whatever. So his mom was down to the quarter and the nickel.
Tens of thousands of dollars.
Exactly. He was very eager to see a lot of stars.
And what's up with the uncut gems?
Right?
Did he have a fence? Did he think this through? Like, what was happening in this kid's head?
I do not know.
Uncut gems. So it's not even like, oh, I'm going to go and pawn these somewhere. No. You have to go to a gem cutter. Mm-hmm. He wants airfare to Antwerp is what he wants.
Well, they have in downtown LA, they have a jewelry district, so he could move the loose rocks.
This kid.
Maybe. I don't know. Kid. Maybe, once again, maybe saw
I don't know. I don't want to underestimate the leopard.
No, you never can underestimate the leopard.
Leopard.
So the kid who wanted to see movie stars, right? He's ironically, like I said, just blocks away from Gower Gulch. You want to just walk up
for
the street.
Free.
And then
go
also
look for free.
Like Paramount Studios is not far away either. He could go down to the gates of Paramount Studio to check out, hang out there. It's over like on Melrose, right? Which is just parallel to Santa Monica.
Yeah.
Anyway, he decides, nope, I'm going to extort Betty Grable. Oh. My mom's got all my money.
So. His poor mother.
I wish I could make it make sense, Elizabeth. And by the way, now we're on our third young man who's trying to extort Betty Grable, and he's the third to get busted. Like, why don't these guys learn from the kooks who came before them? Again, I do not know.
They don't.
But what I do know is that since World War II is now in full swing, after 18-year-old Eugene Alexanderson pleads guilty, he is sentenced not to jail, but instead he is inducted into the Army. You're in the Army now, son.
I thought you were saying something about a Hall of Fame. I was like, he's inducted into the Army. Well,
he gets drafted up.
Put him to good use.
But when 6'4", pimply-faced Eugene shows up at Army induction, the Army takes one good look at him, and the Army's like, unsuitable, stamp, and sends him back.
Oh, bummer.
So instead, he's given a sentence of 5 years on probation, right?
Okay.
And get this, Elizabeth, while he's on probation, just a few months later, he sends another extortion letter to Betty Grable.
No. He needs to go to Napa. He needs to go to the hospital.
Napa County, yeah. Then bing, bang, boom, in May of 43, he's arrested again. This time, he'd sent her a letter demanding even less money. He demanded she give him like
$50?
$500? Yeah.
Just $500.
Or else I'll kill you.
Oh, God.
Yes. And you'll never guess where he instructed her to meet him
to
hand over the money.
Where
does he have to go regularly that would be like on his bus route trips? That's right, his federal probation office.
No.
He's like, meet me at the federal probation office and hand me the $500.
Are you kidding?
And that's where the FBI arrested him, because he did show up.
Because he showed up. Well, I mean, he had to make his meeting.
Yeah,
it's,
I got to go see my PO.
Oh, my God.
So he gets interrogated, interviewed by FBI District Commissioner Head again, and the gangly, pimply-faced young man explains his latest insane plan. Eugene said that, quote, I just couldn't overcome the desire to try to see her again.
Oh, God.
You see, Elizabeth, this young man, he had a heart of fire. He was madly in love. He was out of his mind with desire. Or as he put it, for 7 years, I've been in love with Miss Grable since I first saw her in pictures. I think if I could see her, I'd be satisfied. At any rate, I won't write any more letters.
Just give him one of the cutouts.
Keep in mind, he's yet to actually see Betty Grable, unless, of course, he means you in a wig driving past in a moving car.
That wasn't enough for him?
It actually convinced him Betty Grable was behind the wheel. Anyway, Commissioner Head was like, we're not doing this again, son.
No.
So eventually a judge releases him on bail while he considers an appropriate sentence, since probation hasn't done anything.
Sure.
And so while Eugene is awaiting sentencing, he decides to get in one more letter.
Oh, no.
However, this time he doesn't send it to Betty Grable. He's moved on.
Oh, has he?
He has a different blonde in mind this time. He decides to extort Mae West.
I would not cross Mae West.
No.
I gotta tell you right now. FBI or no FBI.
Right? She feels like a woman who has a derringer in a bosom.
I feel like she would answer the letters herself and then be like, yeah, I'll meet you there.
Yeah. Show up and cut him with a razor.
I dare you.
Now, no one cut diamonds from Mae West, no. But the amount he demanded, it's gone back up. He's way past $500. Eugene writes to Mae West that unless you give me $100,000, she would live her days under threat of your life or great bodily harm.
I love the great bodily harm.
It's his thing. $100,000. That's a major escalation in demand.
Yeah, it is. From like spot me $50 to $100,000.
That would be $1.87 million in today's money. It's like just a cool like near $2 million, or I'm gonna cut you. So the Leopard's instructions for Mae West were that she was to put it in a package, and bring it to 6233 Hollywood Boulevard up to the 6th floor, Saturday, February 6th at 10:10 a.m. Once again, bus schedule
with
times.
With the 10:10s. It's
right?
like the 10 minutes off of the meridian.
Totally.
Interesting.
Now, you know, I think I've mentioned this before. I once had an office like a Hollywood detective, like a private detective office on 6404 Hollywood Boulevard. So just like
really?
2 blocks down from. So I'm super familiar with this part of town. It's basically Hollywood and Vine.
Okay.
It's like super busy at this time.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Meet me at Hollywood and Vine on the 6th
at the
floor.
Photoshop.
So anyway, for Mae West's extortion, he went back to using his comic book villain nickname. He signed his letter, The Leopard. Well, luckily for her.
You should go as the Leopard for Halloween.
Oh, yeah.
And wear stilts.
Have to explain it to everyone each time. I'm like, do you got 30
stilts
minutes?
And whiteface. And then
and some pimple spots.
And a bag of uncut diamonds.
Exactly.
Yeah, and have to explain it all over and over. You just have a handout.
Yeah, what are you supposed to be?
A one sheet that you give people.
And a kind of link to this episode.
Yes, exactly.
No, anyway, luckily for her, Mae West had essentially ignored the extortion letter and the threats made. She had read it. She actually got to her. But then she saw the Betty Grable story in the news, and then she's like, wait a minute, contacts the FBI. After the Mae West letter, Commissioner Head was like, okay, yeah, that's it. We're done here, kid.
We know where to find him.
Yeah, the judge sentenced the pimply-faced, gangly Omaha kid to prison.
Yeah.
Now, if you can believe it, someone else decides to press their luck and extort Betty Grable.
I cannot imagine prison was kind to Russ Gene.
No, and his tenuous grasp on reality. Yeah.
But I bet you there were so many pictures of Betty Grable up in the cells that it just drove him to madness.
They just called him Harry James.
Yeah.
Or maybe called him Jackie Coogan. Hey, Jackie, come on in here. As I was saying, if you can believe it, don't ask me how. Everyone's been caught, but someone else is like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to extort Betty Grable.
A great idea. No one's done that.
Like, no one's gotten away with it yet. But at this point, it's pretty much an easy way to punch your ticket to being locked up or getting sent to the army to fight overseas.
Yeah.
They're like, I'm going to try my luck. It hasn't worked out for anyone else, but maybe it'll work out for me. Now, in 1945, war's still on. Betty Grable was married to the swing music band leader, Harry James, right?
Yeah.
But that didn't stop someone from thinking, you know what? I should threaten to do harm to Betty Grable.
Poor Betty Grable.
It's January of 1945 when the press report that Betty Grable has been under police guard for several days as a result of a tip that a plot might be directed against her. Now, this time, it wasn't some pimply-faced kid with a comic book pen name. No, but this time it was 2 men in a bar.
Oh, okay.
So according to Police Captain Thad Brown, 2 men had been overheard in a bar discussing a plan to abduct the star and hold her for ransom.
That's gross.
Yeah, the bar owner felt like you did, like that's gross.
Yeah.
He's like, you're really mucking up the vibe in my gin mill.
Well,
So-
and he's heard all manner
Totally.
of bad bar bets.
Exactly.
and bad plans. And then he hears this. He's like, absolutely not.
Right, yeah. I mean,
Stop it.
to
and
get
he
a-
swats him.
a World War II era like gin mill bar owner pissed off enough to
Right.
contact the LAPD.
Right.
Well, I got a live one for you. He overheard two of his customers talking about kidnapping Betty Grable, holding her for ransom, and since he's worried that one of them is an ex-convict, he
Yeah.
calls the LAPD. So Police Captain Thad Brown gets in touch with 20th Century Fox to make sure that the studio is aware of this threat to their big star.
Sure.
Because remember, #1 box office draw.
Right. And
most
they have
famous
to
star.
increase security at the studio. Yeah.
And have somebody with her, like, taking her home, picking her up in the morning for
Right.
her early calls because they don't know when they're going to strike.
Yeah.
As the newspapers of the day reported, from that time on, Miss Grable, wife of orchestra leader Harry James, couldn't walk her dog without tripping over guards. Now, her band leader husband, he also starts to carry a handgun on him because he kind of leans that way.
Sure.
He's like, I'm going to keep that nickel plated on me. And he wasn't taking any chances with his new wife. He's like, I got lucky to get her. I ain't going to lose
Right,
her. Now,
right.
3 weeks passed. The two men failed to act on their tough guy bar talk. And so eventually, studio officials, police, the FBI, and 40 special agents who guarded the star agreed it was only a dream and no kidnap plot. So eventually it was tough bar talk.
Oh, but you know what? You gotta watch what you say.
Oh, yeah, people are going to take it for real.
Yeah.
Now, I would love to tell you that was the final time
No.
someone tried to kidnap or ransom Betty Grable or extort her. But if I told you that, I'd be lying.
Oh, no.
Because 3 years later, in 1948, it happens again. The war is over now.
Yeah, there's no excuse.
People are like, well, remember when we used to extort Betty Grable?
We didn't know what was happening in the world.
Now, I thought you'd appreciate this. Our ever-curious, eagle-eyed researcher, Marissa Brown.
Yes.
She raised this
God, I
interesting
love
question in her notes, in her research dossier on this one. Marissa said, quote, side note, what is it about winter that makes people want to kidnap Betty Grable? Because every one of these takes place in the winter. These are never summertime plans.
Well, you're bundled up. It's cold.
Yeah, you're stuck inside. You got nothing to do. You listen to a lot of radio. You're wishing you could afford a TV at this point. So yet again, come winter, someone gets the idea, I should extort Betty Grable for big payday. It's been a few years. No one's tried it. So someone, they catch the spirit. And then in January of 1948, Betty Grable, still the #1 box office draw in the world, with the $1 million contract, $1 million legs, this blonde bombshell pinup, girl next door vibes. Someone decides, I'm going to threaten to kill her.
And this one will work. Yeah. Oh, God, I'm going to threaten.
But they go one past that. They're like, no, everyone's said that. Like, I'm going to hurt you. I'm going to kill you. I'm going to kidnap you. She's like, this new person's like, what if I steal her new baby?
No.
Now, there ain't nothing funny about baby stealing.
No.
Unless it's the Coen Brothers movie Raised in Arizona.
Yeah,
right?
True.
But that said, this one is still good because... Well, the story goes, Elizabeth. Jane Bean, 20 years old, of Kaufman, Texas, and her husband, Wilford E. Bean. These names are always cartoon names. Jane Bean and Willie Bean.
Willie Bean.
Right, so Mr. and Mrs. Bean. By the way.
Billy Bean.
Billy Bean. Yeah, there you go. Billy Bean's job. What does Mr. Bean do for a living? He's an employee at a glass company. So I'm imagining him as like some industrial glassblower coming home to his wife. He's like, honey, you want to know what I did today? I threatened to take Betty Grable's baby. We're going to get paid, honey. So Jane Bean of Kaufman, Texas, she has a sort of bright idea a 20-year-old fresh to Hollywood would come up with. Extort Betty Grable.
Right.
Plan is simple and diabolical. Just snatch her baby.
Yeah.
Then just run up and steal. Yoink, steal the baby.
And then what happens next? What happens next, Mrs. Bean?
Right? I think they're just going to live high on the hog, I guess. I don't know. Oh, but I forgot this part. She wrote this as fan mail to Betty Grable and sent it to 20th Century Fox.
Oh,
so the letter's
kidding.
like, send me $5,000 or I'm going to steal your baby.
I'm going to start texting that to my friends.
And by the way, that's no small ask because in 1948, $5,000 would be $67,000 today.
Right.
Right. And by the way, also, Jane Bean of Kaufman, Texas, didn't plan to steal the baby. She planned to get paid for threatening to steal the baby.
Yeah, exactly. Well, she wasn't,
She wanted to get paid for playing with Betty Grable's imagination.
It would be so scary, this letter, that she'd be like, of course, please, Mrs. Bean.
I'm going to ransom a theoretical kidnapped baby of the future.
Yeah.
And so, sad part for Miss Bean is that she didn't know how to get the future ransom letter extortion threat to Betty Grable, so she sends it as fan mail.
Amazing.
And a big star like Betty Grable doesn't open her own fan mail.
No.
So some poor schmuck in the mail room at the studio does.
Who went on probably to become a huge producer because they start in the mail room.
Totally. He becomes like Irving Thalberg or something.
Right.
Anyway, so this poor schmuck in the mail room opens this particular piece of fan mail, reads the extortion letter, future ransom letter, and he's like, well, that's not good. So he takes it to his boss. They read it. They're like, well, that's not good. They take it to the security of the studio. They're like, oh, that's not good. And then they hand the letter over to the FBI because at this point, the studio has like a relationship with the FBI just to handle Betty Grable's extortion letters. So the FBI agents, they read the letter and the agents are like, well, that's not good. And they go look up where they can find Miss Jane Bean of Kaufman, Texas.
Right. I love that she signed her name.
And I'm betting she sent her a return address
Probably.
on her future baby ransom letter.
Probably.
Either way, the FBI shows up at her home. And then the whole pitiful, deranged story comes out in the papers, quote, a drab little blonde admitted today she sent Betty Grable a threat to kidnap her baby because she wanted some, quote, easy money.
A drab little blonde.
Yes, right. Newspapers.
Ripping on
just
people.
Cutting on them. Now, this is when Mrs. Jane Bean and the rest of the world learned that Betty Grable never even saw the future baby ransom letter because, as the papers also reported, the movie star and her husband, bandleader Harry James, didn't know about the threat until they read the newspaper. Her studio found the rambling, longhand note in a pile of fan letters.
Oh my God, rambling.
Yeah, they're just cutting everywhere. Now, if you're wondering why would someone send a rambling, longhand note about stealing Betty Grable's baby unless she receives $5,000? There's a simple reason. As the paper put it, Mrs. Jane Bean, 20, told FBI agents she tried to extort $5,000 from Miss Grable because she was tired of being poor and hungry. No.
Sister, I get it,
right?
But that's not the way to do it.
Well, I guess she figured hypothetically stealing Betty Grable's baby was the best way to fix her world problems.
Right.
Wouldn't have been my choice, but it is a choice. Now, Mrs. Jane Bean of Kaufman, Texas, she tells the FBI agents that arrested her that her motive was actually quite straightforward. One might say direct and to the point. As Mrs. Bean said, it seems like everyone in Hollywood has lots of money. I need some myself.
Yeah.
Right? Just right to it. I mean, when you put it like that, Mrs. Bean, hard to argue with you. So there you go, Elizabeth. The mini extortions of Betty Grable.
My goodness.
What's a ridiculous takeaway?
Don't try and extort Betty Grable.
Right?
That's just rules to live by. Don't, especially now.
I told you,
it's not worth it now.
No, it'd be really hard now.
Yeah.
A lot of digging. Get those shovels out, I think.
Exactly.
I don't know. Maybe she's
What about
cremated.
you? What's your takeaway?
Mine is, if somebody is the most famous woman in the world, one of the highest earners, you're going to need more than just sending a fan mail letter as like, if that's your plan, you're going to probably need to buy a star map and figure out how to drop it in through her actual mail slot.
Yeah.
Maybe kidnap Harry James and see if she cares about him.
True.
You know, like mix it up.
Yeah. And you're going to have a little bit more of a plan.
Yeah,
I think
that
is
would
what
be
we
good.
call it.
Yeah, that would be really good. Actually think through what you're doing.
Right.
Instead of being like, how much money do I want? And then just asking for that in a rambling, long-winded, handwritten note. Okay, so you in the mood for a talk back and we can wash this all down?
Always.
Talk backs. Oh my God, did he just say that?
OMG.
Hi guys, I need to share something a little bit ridiculous, and that is that I finally figured out who Elizabeth sounds like, and that would be Carrie Brownstein, specifically when playing the role of Tony, the feminist bookseller in Portlandia. I like producer D. am from Rhode Island, and it's freaking hot here, and people are sharing that meme about the heat being hot. And yeah, I love you guys. This is Jill. Okay, bye.
Thank you, Jill. You gave me a laugh.
Jill, I've heard far worse than that. So I take that as a compliment.
Yeah, as you should.
It is, yeah. It is.
That was good.
That's very good.
As always, you guys, you can find us online at Ridiculous Crime on social media. You can email us if you want at ridiculouscrime@gmail.com. Gmail. We have the account Ridiculous Crime Pod, P-O-D, as in short for podcast, on YouTube. You check it out. There's great videos there to watch if you prefer your pods coming through YouTube. Also, we have a website, ridiculouscrime.com. Also, I don't know if on YouTube they have the ads. Just put that in your pipe and smoke it.
Who knows?
I don't know.
Who am I to say?
We love your talkbacks, obviously. So please go find the iHeart app, download it, leave a talkback. Maybe we hear your voice here. We'd like to hear it.
Yes.
And as always, I got to say one more time, thank you for listening. We will catch you next crime. Ridiculous Crime is hosted by Elizabeth Dutton and Zaron Burnett. Produced and edited by Betty Grable's other bandleader boy toy, Dave Kustin. And starring Annalise Rucker as Judith. Research is by the underwriters for Betty Grable's leg insurance policy, Marissa Brown and Jabari Davis. Our theme song is by the rhythm section for Harry James Road Band, Thomas Lee and Travis Dutton. Host wardrobe provided by Botany 500. Guest hair and makeup by Sparkleshot and Mr. Andre. Executive producers are J. Edgar Hoover's favorite undercover FBI gravediggers and cemetery gardeners, Ben Bolin and Noel Brown.
Ridiculous crime.
Say it one more time.
Ridiculous crime.
Ridiculous Crime is a production of iHeartRadio. For more podcasts from iHeartRadio, visit the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your favorite shows.